Hello everyone, my name is Ken Palacios and today I'm giving an instructional video on how to prepare lumpia. First, let me start off by welcoming you to my home. On the island of Guam, we would say Hafaday. That is the overall greeting of the Chamorro people of Guam. Alright, a brief history on lumpia, or the foods on Guam. Back in the 17th century, it's said that the Filipinos and the Spaniards, when they came to the island of Guam as migrant workers and to inhabit Guam, that they brought their all of their food from their countries. You could only imagine the Spanish food and the Spanish descent and the Filipino descent on top of the Mariana Islands. All of the fusion of food, trust me, is it's amazing. There are various foods, and this is just a little side dish that I'm going to show you how to prepare today. Alright, let's go ahead and get started. So, a few key ingredients. First off are lumpia wrappers, okay? Lumpia wrappers, these can come in two versions. They can come in either a rice base or a flour base. These particular ones you could buy at the commissary, and they are a flour based product. You also need cabbage, roughly a cup to a cup and a half of cabbage, and carrots. I cheat a little bit and I buy the coleslaw mix. It saves a lot of time from chopping and doing all that stuff. So it has purple cabbage, it has regular cabbage, and carrots in this particular bag that you could also get from the grocery store. The difference between the Chamorro style or the Guam version of lumpia and the Filipino version is the Guam version is mainly ground beef. The Filipino version, it's either shrimp or pork based. So you also need a pound and a half of ground beef for how much lumpia we're going to make. Oh, and sorry I didn't mention before, but in each pack of lumpia you have roughly 25 to 30 wrappers. So all of the ingredients that I'm giving you, it's enough to make filling to go ahead and fill all of the 25 to 30 wrappers. I also use rice noodles or pancit bijon noodles. These are also it's a rice-based product, and you could get these at either an Oriental store or a grocery store in the international section. Now, spices. All of the spices that I'm going to tell you, it's basically to taste. So whatever your flavor is, if you want it more garlicky or oniony, or even more if you like that ginger flavor, it's based on your taste and what you would feel that others that you are making this dish for. That will basically determine how much of each product you put. Alright, so you need some soy sauce. You can use the regular Kikkoman soy sauce or a low sodium based soy sauce as well. That's all dependent on you. I like using this. It's a little bit more potent, so for the amount for a pound and a half and all of the vegetables and the rice noodles that I had and showed you before, I use about maybe a fourth of a cup of soy sauce. You can use fresh garlic or you can use garlic powder. Either one works, and again, it's to taste. Onion powder, again, fresh onions. You could use minced onions, you could chop the onions, or you could use onion powder. Black pepper and ginger. And ginger powder, if you use ginger powder, remember that either fresh ginger or ginger powder is really, really potent, so be careful on how much you put in. Alright, so now that you know the key ingredients, let's go ahead and get started in wrapping. So let me grab a few things first to set up for it. Okay, so how I prepped all of the food, all of the ingredients. First, I browned the ground beef. After I browned the ground beef, I drained all the oil base that came from the ground beef, and then I put it back in the pan, and I just started mixing all my seasonings in there. So once I mix all my seasonings in there, I prepared the rice noodles. So the rice noodles are these bijon noodles again. I took it out of the pack and I put it in some steaming water, and this softens the actual noodles, and then you take some scissors, some meat scissors or regular shears, and you cut them into fine bits. And then I also mix the coleslaw mix inside of the actual the ground beef. Mix all of that together, and then you come up with this product right here. So I'm telling you right now, the way it smells delicious. The reason I prepared this ahead of time is because you have to make sure that it is room temperature, or else it will ruin the wrappers. Before I get started, let me go ahead and wash my hands, because cleanliness is always a big thing. Alright, so let's get started. As I told you before, the lumpia wrappers comes in 30. So this is what an individual lumpia wrapper looks like. Alright, so how you would get started is you have the lumpia wrapper facing in a diamond shape towards your body. You would take the mix. You would take about a tablespoon of mix, put it in the bottom corner. Take the bottom corner, pull it up over the mix, and you would tuck it in. Continue to roll for maybe like one revolution, one roll, then you tuck the sides in. Tuck one side in, tuck the other side in. Hold those in place, and then you would continue to roll, trying to make it as tight as you can. And you have a rolled lumpia. To seal the product, you could use an egg that I just beat, or you could use flour and water based mix. So let's go ahead and seal this. And as you see right here, you have your overall lumpia. Alright, let's go ahead and roll about two more. And this overall recipe that I'm using, it was passed down from my grandmother and my mother. God rest their souls, but if they were to see me cheating and using using just the coleslaw mix, they would definitely, back on island, they pinch the back of your arms, they grab your ears, they hit you upside your head, but they all like to use fresh ingredients. Again, in the interest of time, I use coleslaw mix, especially with the amount that I usually have for parties and everything like that. Let's do one more. You could also find these recipes on, there's a website called PaulaQ.com. You could go to Guampedia.com. You could YouTube it, and you could also go on Pinterest, and they have some recipes on there as well. Okay, now I have some lumpia right here that I'm going to start to fry, and let me move this all out of the way. I want to wash all the egg product that I have on my hands. Alright, now we are going to start to fry it. Alright, I have my pot, I have the oil and everything going already. So it's on medium heat, about maybe, I would say about 190 degrees or so. Or just on your oven or on your stove, it's usually like 1 through 9. I would go about 4.5 or 5 on the actual German stoves. Alright, so when you put in the oil, you see it's boiling, it's bubbling really, really good. This will take about 2 or 3 minutes to fry and get to a nice golden brown. And after it gets to a golden brown, you want to put it in an actual strainer that's lined by paper towels, so that it could take all the excess oil off of it. when they actually finish and get to a golden brown, you get a product like this. And that's it for lumpia. You can serve it. It usually gets served as a side dish, and you would have it where any of your side potato salads or anything else like that during a barbecue. You go ahead and serve it and like put it and plate it on the table as such. Alright, there you have it. You have your overall, that's lumpia in a nutshell. It is very tedious to make, but the overall product is very, very delicious. That is it. I told you today a brief history on how to make lumpia, and I just overall, that is it. Thank you very much, and have a good night. Zizu Swansi. Goodbye.